On a quiet October night in 2002, inside a small recording studio in Queens, one of hip-hop's founding legends was shot dead at point-blank range. No forced entry, no struggle, and no clear suspects. For nearly 2 decades, the murder of Jam Master Jay remained one of music's most haunting mysteries, until finally, the truth began to surface. This is the story of the night hip-hop stopped. The night a pioneer, a mentor, a father, and the heart of Run DMC was killed in a place he thought was safe. And the decades-long silence that followed until charges finally cracked the case wide open.
Fatal shooting of a rap music legend. The shooting tonight in a recording studio in Queens, taking the life of the man known as Jam Master Jay. His real name, Jason Mizell, one of the founders of the groundbreaking rap group Run DMC.
Well, Jam Master Jay knew the absolute heights of the hip-hop world as a member of the pioneering rap group Run DMC. He, of course, was their DJ, and having stayed in the industry all these years, he knew well about the feuds that so often result in violence and death in the rap world.
October 30th, 2002, Jam Master Jay, the iconic DJ of Run DMC, was spending the evening at his recording studio in Jamaica, Queens. It was a normal night, relaxed, creative, and comfortable. Jay, known for being generous and approachable, often surrounded himself with friends and up-and-coming artists. The studio was his second home. Around 7:30 p.m., 2 men approached the entrance. They were buzzed in by someone inside, meaning they were familiar, trusted, or expected. Security cameras caught them walking through the hallway, but never revealed their faces. They moved calmly, quietly, like people who had been inside many times before. Inside Studio 2, Jay sat on a sofa behind the mixing board. When the 2 men entered, one walked directly toward Jay, pulled out a handgun, and fired a single shot into his head. Witnesses froze in shock. Another shot was fired, injuring someone else in the room. And then, without panic, without hesitation, the gunman walked right out of the studio and disappeared into the night. Police arrived within minutes. No robbery, no fight, no forced entry, no sign that Jay expected danger. The killing was precise, deliberate, and personal. The investigation quickly stalled. Witnesses were terrified to speak. Rumors spread everywhere, involving record labels, old disputes, even gang retaliation. But none of it could be proven. For years, detectives chased shadows, while Jay's family begged for justice. Then, after nearly 20 years of silence, everything changed. In 2020, federal prosecutors announced charges against Kyle, Little D, Jordan Jr., and Ronald Washington, 2 men who personally knew Jay.
2 men found guilty of murder in the killing of Run DMC's Jam Master Jay. Jurors found Carl Jordan Jr., Jay's godson, and Ronald Washington, Jay's childhood friend, guilty on all counts. Prosecutors say the murder was in retaliation for being cut out of a drug deal.
According to investigators, the killing was tied to a drug operation Jay refused to participate in. When he backed out, tensions escalated. And prosecutors allege that Jordan and Washington entered the studio that night with one purpose: to kill him. The revelation shocked fans and the hip-hop community. The idea that Jay's killers were not strangers, but people from within his circle, added a heartbreaking layer of betrayal to the story. The case remains ongoing as the suspects face federal murder charges, finally bringing movement to a story that sat frozen for nearly 2 decades. Jam Master Jay wasn't just a DJ, he was a cultural architect, a humble, influential figure who shaped hip-hop, inspired millions, and opened doors for countless artists. His death left a void in the music world, and for years, the silence around his murder felt like an open wound. Now, as the truth slowly comes to light, fans and family finally hope for the justice they've waited so long to see. The beat may have stopped that night in Queens, but the legacy of Jam Master Jay continues to echo across generations. On the night of September 7th, 1996, just after a big boxing match in Las Vegas, a bullet fired through a car window changed the face of hip-hop forever. A 25-year-old rising star was gunned down in a drive-by shooting, and for decades the world demanded answers. Then in 2023, a suspect was finally charged. This is the story of Tupac Shakur's death and the long road to attempted justice. Tupac Shakur was more than a rapper. He was a voice for millions, a young legend with charisma, raw honesty, and a dream. But fame came with danger. On a September night in 1996, after watching a fight on the Las Vegas Strip with his associate, he stepped into a car, and moments later, chaos erupted. A single shot changed everything.
An arrest has been made in connection with the shooting death of Tupac Shakur. The rapper's 1996 murder from a drive-by shooting has remained unsolved for nearly 30 years.
Tupac Shakur was one of rap's biggest stars in 1996 when he was shot several times while riding in a BMW driven by Suge Knight on the
Tupac was struck by bullets fired from a white Cadillac that pulled up beside his vehicle at a red light near the Strip. He was 25, at the peak of his talent, with a future millions hoped to see. But he never made it home. He died 6 days later, leaving behind music, controversy, and a mystery no one could solve. That night, Tupac was riding with a close associate in a black BMW, part of a larger convoy after the fight. Suddenly, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside, and gunfire erupted. Shots pierced the car. Tupac was hit multiple times. Another occupant was wounded as well. He was rushed to the hospital, underwent surgery, fought for his life, but succumbed to his injuries days later. The city was stunned. The world mourned. Headlines splashed across newspapers. Fans mourned the loss. Police investigated. Suspects were named. Rumors spread, but no one was ever charged. The case went cold, or so it seemed. For decades, theories circulated: gang rivalry, record label beefs, revenge, betrayal. One name emerged early: a gang member suspected by some. Another, a casualty in a separate shooting, already dead by the late 90s. Evidence was scarce. Witnesses scared. Leads dead-ended. Still, the legend of Tupac grew. His music soared. His influence spread far beyond rap. But the wound never healed. The unanswered questions haunted fans, friends, and family. On September 29th, 2023, after 27 years of silence, a major breakthrough. Dwayne "Keffy D" Davis, a former gang leader, the only surviving person from the vehicle from which the fatal shots were fired, was indicted for murder in connection with Tupac's death. Prosecutors allege Davis had supplied the firearm used that night, a .40 caliber Glock, and given it to someone in the back seat of a Cadillac. They say the killing was retaliation for a fight earlier that evening involving Davis's nephew and members of Tupac's group. Davis pleaded not guilty, maintaining innocence, and vowed to fight the charges. The trial is scheduled for 2026. Meanwhile, the world watches, hoping the mystery may finally be resolved. Tupac Shakur's music changed lives. His death sent shockwaves through culture. For nearly 3 decades, his murder symbolized lost promise, unanswered questions, and a cold case many thought would never be solved. Now, with the man officially charged, the first ever in this case, there's a chance for closure, a chance for the truth to matter. But even if a conviction happens, the world may never know the full story. The pain, the struggle, the fear of those final moments. Because some legends never truly die. They just wait for their final chapter to be written. On a warm March night in Los Angeles, one of the greatest rappers of all time left a music industry party and never made it past the next stoplight. A single SUV rolled up beside him. A gun emerged, and in seconds, the Notorious B.I.G. was gone. To this day, the case remains officially unsolved, surrounded by rumors, conspiracies, and silence. This is the story of Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls, a Brooklyn legend whose voice, flow, and presence transformed hip-hop. But behind the fame was rising tension, bitter rivalries, and a climate of danger on both coasts. On March 9, 1997, that tension erupted into violence on the streets of Los Angeles. And nearly 3 decades later, justice still hasn't come.
The music world is numb today, stunned by the violent death of gangster rapper Notorious B.I.G. The tragedy happened here outside of the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, where the rapper, also known as Biggie Smalls, was attending a Vibe magazine party for the Soul Train Awards.
20 years after influential rapper Notorious B.I.G. was gunned down, fans paused to honor his legacy. People gathered tonight at this massive Biggie mural on Quincy Street in Bed-Stuy.
It was just after midnight when Biggie attended a Vibe magazine after-party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. He was in good spirits, promoting his upcoming album, celebrating success, and preparing for a new chapter in his life. He had even moved past much of the East Coast versus West Coast tension that had dominated the headlines. Around 12:45 a.m., Biggie and his entourage left the venue. He climbed into the front passenger seat of a black GMC Suburban. The streets were crowded. Cars moved slowly. The night seemed calm until Biggie's SUV stopped at a red light. Next to them, a dark Chevy Impala pulled up. The driver looked over, then suddenly raised a 9mm handgun. He fired multiple shots through Biggie's window before speeding away into the darkness. Chaos erupted. The SUV rushed Biggie to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but it was too late. At just 24 years old, the Notorious B.I.G. was pronounced dead. News spread instantly. Fans gathered. The hip-hop community shattered. The similarities to Tupac's murder, just 6 months earlier, reignited waves of conspiracy theories. Many believed the killings were connected. Others suspected deeper corruption. LAPD investigated, but the case quickly became tangled in secrecy and controversy. Witnesses were scared. Some refused to cooperate. Leads vanished. Rumors spread that corrupt officers were involved. Lawsuits were filed. Documents sealed, and evidence questioned. Despite countless theories, gang retaliation, music industry politics, personal feuds, none have ever been proven. And officially, the case remains open but unsolved. Over time, documentaries, leaked files, and former detectives revealed possible suspects, yet no arrests have been made. No trial, no closure, only the lasting shadow of what the hip-hop world lost that night. The Notorious B.I.G. wasn't just a rapper, he was a storyteller, a visionary, and one of the most influential artists in music history. His voice defined an era. His legacy continues to shape hip-hop today. But the question remains, who killed Biggie Smalls? And why has the truth stayed buried for so long? Until answers come, the murder of the Notorious B.I.G. stands as one of the most haunting mysteries in music, a case frozen in time, with justice still out of reach.